Catholic in a new school, new field. Let's take you to Catholic, the new place, as Country Day and Catholic met, and John Roberts has the highlights.
As the sun set over the Cougars' new Keepers Stadium, there was no question what these two teams were playing for. The Cougars had the cup, the Bucks wanted it, but one question, where was the cup? The Bucks found out first where the end zone was, though, and took a 7-0 lead on this Mac McCauley quarterback keeper, but still no cup.
Hey, man, you know where the cup is?
What? Oh, no, man, no one knows where it is. He might know over there.
He didn't know either, and the Cougars still couldn't find the end zone as Mike Falenke is picked off by George McClanahan to end the first half. But under a mysterious full moon, there was still no cup to be found in the second half. The Cougars started with a great drive, only to have it snuffed out as number 77 for the Bucks strips the ball and takes it almost 77 yards in the other direction for a 20-0 lead. Finally, we found the cup, cleverly hidden under a towel on the bench, and the Bucks find the victory and take the cup home. 20-8 Bucks is the final. John Roberts, Football Friday Night.
Beautiful new stadium, but I know Delano brought his cup with us tonight. You got to have your cup with you, folks.
I'm not touching that one.
No, 28 final score. Also, 20
school football playoffs from last night. All right, it's getting down to crunch time now. In Raleigh, Independent Schools title game between Charlotte Country Day and Ravenscroft. Ravenscroft came up here in Country Day, beat them in their backyard. Now that Country Day had to go down there for the championship game, look at this, the block punt. Elliott Walker blocks it. Jimmy West recovers for the touchdown. Oh, you like to get those, don't you? Ravenscroft tried to come back. Antoine Harris going down the sideline. Watch this. Cameraman, stay with that number 2. The deuce is loose. The deuce is loose. He would score. But Country Day, we congratulate Coach Bob Whitman and the Buccaneers. They beat Ravenscroft for the Independent School Championship 17-14. Way to go, guys.
Welcome back to Football Friday. Independent School State Championships. D-Man, this week we presented Brian Kuster of Country Day our Player of the Year award, and I asked him, I said, Brian, what about Ravenscroft? And he says, well, despite the fact we're going to win, and so on and so forth, he was so nonchalant about the win part. Well, guess what? He was absolutely right.
That's right. When he's made that statement, his coach looked like and said, coaches hate to hear that kind of stuff. You know, Paul, if you look back over the history of things, a lot of professional athletes, a lot of stars can never boast the fact that they had a high school state championship. Not many people get a chance to do it. Well, Charlotte Country Day, Raleigh, Ravenscroft, both players from these teams had a chance to say so tonight as they were ready to play for a state championship. But winning the state championship is another story. Let's take you to the highlights. Our John Roberts has the call.
When you talk about football tradition, here are two teams that stand tall. 12 times since the 70s, either Ravenscroft or Country Day has won the state championship. Ravens had it coming in, but the Bucks stopped him here. The punt is blocked by Jumbo Elliott Walker, and the Bucks led 7-0. The Ravens then showed why they were undefeated. Antoine Harris takes the ball and lets his legs do the rest of the work. A big, long touchdown tied the game up at 7 apiece. Brian Wilkins then kicked his first field goal of the season, a 39-yarder, and it gave the Bucks a 10-7 lead. Second half started out with who else but Antoine Harris going nearly 30 yards for a touchdown, and Country Day trailed by 4. But in the fourth, the Bucks came up big on 4th down. They needed a stop, and Luke Blythe was able to stop Antoine Harris. That gave them about 5 minutes to score, and new quarterback just in, Ryan Stroker, finds Brian Porter, a gutsy call, but a huge payoff as the Bucks go on top 17-14. Wait a minute, though. The Ravens still had one last chance to score. The last-minute attempt was picked off by David Zellickson, and it was time to celebrate.
It's the best feeling in my life, but I don't take credit for it. I take my teammates take credit for this. We won this as a team. We are #1, and we'll stay #1. Yeah, Bucks, state champs!
And this football tradition continues as the Bucks bring home the state championship. 17-14 was the final. John Roberts, Football Friday Night, Raleigh.
Oh, Bob Whitman. Was he excited, Brian Porter?
How big is that?
That is huge.
Incredible.
To win on the road, and especially on a soft, soggy field where your #1 threat, Kuster, a fine running back, really can't get his traction and can't get his game going. So that really says the Buccaneers did something a different way and winning through the air.
That's right. And they were going up against the odds, taking on the defending state champs. That's a lot for a team to face, going up in their area and taking on the defending state champs. But Charlotte Country Day, they are for real.
Indeed. Let's move on to